welcome into another edition of the Cavalier Connection podcast. I'm your host, Jack Lowe, joined as always tonight by my dad, Jeff. How we doing tonight, Dad?
Doing well. We both got UVA strong on, I see.
Yes, we do. Matt, hey, I've had this on all day, so,
I
you
changed
need a
into
little
it.
wardrobe change.
We live in the same house, and we still end up in the same shirt.
That's right. Big night last night. Obviously, game kicked off at 6 o'clock, so we didn't get home. For those of you who don't know, we don't live in Charlottesville. We don't live near Charlottesville, so we got home real late. Or Saturday night. Today's Sunday, right? No, today's Monday.
Today's
So we're
Monday.
2 days later. Goodness gracious. And so, we're still catching up on the sleep. We're still looking at how things went, but overall it was a really fun day. And yeah. Also, we got to visit a particular place, Dad, before the game and got to try something. You want to get into that a little bit? New
Yeah, real
sponsor?
quick. We have another friend of the show, A Squared Pizza. Was able to go. If you didn't check us out on Facebook, we threw some pictures up there of our tailgate. Detroit style pizza, A Squared Pizza, excellent food. Owner Andy, super nice guy, and it was outstanding, I must say. So if you get a chance, go check them out in Charlottesville. A Squared Pizza, got their website posted up here, or you can call them 434-465-2186. But we want to thank them for helping us with our tailgate on Saturday.
Yeah,
I
really.
know you didn't enjoy the tailgate, but if you see
looked
our
good.
pictures online, Jack's in the car eating it because as soon as he smelled it, he had to have a slice. So
That's right.
before he got to the meeting room. But yeah, thanks to A Square Pizza. Go check them out in Charlottesville.
For sure. Yeah, no, I tell you, we picked it up. I don't know how long before game time it was, but we went in there, got our pizza. Already smelled amazing. You walk in the establishment, it's not huge, it's a little pizza place. You walk in there, smells unbelievable. You got friendly staff up front. It was Andy actually that was out up front. So you got the owner doing a lot of work. Great customer service, greeting each customer, and we opened that pizza. It looked unbelievable, and so, like he said, I got me a slice right when we got into the car, ate it up. Unbelievable. I
Yep.
didn't know how I could go without eating more.
And my other son had one in the car too. Of
Yeah,
course, he made a little mess, but that's okay.
he made a little mess, but as we all do, it was very good pizza. Highly recommend. Next time you're in Charlottesville for game day, even if it's not for game day, you're just hanging around, you want something to go get to eat. That pizza's really good. It's not gonna miss. I think we got a pepperoni one, and then we also got, what was it, peppers and olives? Is that what we
Yep.
got? It was really
Yep.
good.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So be sure to go check them out as well. And really quick, before we get into our next thing, as we are live tonight, what are your questions? Be sure to interact with us in the chat box. We love interacting with the fans who are listening. So if you have any questions, have any comments you'd like to say about the game, we'd love to talk with you about that. So be sure to leave a comment. I hear my dad was big time a couple nights ago, met a couple fans. So for those of you who are listening that met my dad, you're lucky. It's big time.
Don't say it like that. But it was nice to meet some fans of the show. So
Yeah, for sure.
if you tune in, let me know.
Absolutely, yeah. If you guys ever see, my dad, Jay, or myself out there at Scott Stadium or anywhere, be sure to come up. They're not gonna bite you or anything. They just that we love talking with UVA fans as much as they love talking to us. So,
But real quick before we get going, I did get to see a celebrity in the stands as I'm sitting up in our section 529. I look up and I'm like, well, daggone, there's Chris Long coming up here. He spent about 2 minutes in a seat up in 529, and then he worked his way back down. I saw OG Who also got to dap him up in his section. So I think he was moving around the stadium quite a bit. But all-time great Who, Chris Long.
That's pretty awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, no, absolutely. So you had Chris Long. You had a lot of alumni there. I saw an OG Who I saw was tweeting during the game. A lot of the people on X were at the game. Pretty good attendance. We'll get into all that in just a minute here because really quick, we got to get to our Mentors Moment of the Week. And I texted you before the show because I wasn't too sure what to go with because, I don't know, the Who scored 48 points. You have a lot of options. You had a lot of excitement, a lot of fireworks during the game. But ultimately, the decision was this: when a transfer out of the University of James Madison by the name of Cam Ross decided to be the special teams, make a special play. Let's take a watch.
And put together a drive like that. We got Charleston Southern and East Carolina, their next two before going into Sun Belt play, opening up at South Alabama. Ross on the return. Watch out. He's got great speed. He's got the kicker beat. What a night for Cam Ross. Welcome to Charlottesville, young man.
That's awesome stuff. I was calling for it all game. I was telling my family up there, I said, you know, they keep kicking the ball away from Cam. They don't want to get him the ball in his hands, and he took that one. But, you know, we had Ball Hawk on last week, and what did he say? He said, we need a guy like Joe Reed was. When a team scores on you, they just take the ball and they run he says special teams, run a kickback, run a punt back,
Punch him in the
and
mouth
just
right
take their heart out. And that's exactly what he did. Ball Hawk called that one. That was outstanding. And, I mean, God knows how many options we had for a Mentor's Moment this week.
Oh, yeah. No, I told him number 2 for me would have been the Terrell Harris catch that he made going into the half in the 2-minute drill. I mean, he had it with one hand, bobbled it, then got the catch as he fell to the ground. It was incredible. By the way, Cardiac Who's chimes in. Go Who's. Ben made the trip on Saturday. Sean has tickets in 529. My tickets used to be 529 as well.
Yeah, we got to meet up there.
That's right. Yeah, for sure.
It was good seats.
Yeah, no, definitely. But kick return, huge. And the game was already over by that point. But just to see that gives a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. And I mentioned this in my post-game article, and I mentioned it on X. If you haven't checked it out, be sure to go check out thecavalierconnection.com. The last time that Virginia returned a kickoff to the house was by Joe Reed. And he has not been on the team since 2019. And Joe Reed took it 2019 against Duke was the last time that Virginia returned a kickoff to the end zone. Not only that, Virginia also blocked a punt. It was, I'm blanking on it. Or Landon Danley, right? Or was it Caleb?
Yeah. I think that's who it was.
Jeez, I'm getting mixed up. Either way, blocked a punt. Huge play on special teams. The last time Virginia blocked a punt was against Pitt in the season opener back in 2019. Coincidence? I think not. Now, granted, it's Coastal Carolina, but just to see special teams plays being made, because I think it sounds stupid to people who don't analyze football too closely. Special teams makes a difference in college football, in football in general, but especially college football. And special teams for Virginia has not been very good during the Elliott era. And to see a kick get returned and a punt blocked is enough for me to say, okay, I see some change. It's a little exciting on the inside.
Yeah, for sure. That was exciting.
Absolutely. So with that was your Mentor's Moment. Congratulations to Cam Ross, the transfer out of JMU. You were on him for the whole couple weeks before the season. You're like, watch Cam Ross. People ask, yeah, what player are you most? Watch Cam Ross. And sure enough, not only that kick return, had a great day overall for sure. So let's get into the game itself a little bit, maybe the fan experience a little bit. I was at the stadium a little earlier than you guys, and I got to the Wahoo Walk. I should have loaded the video in here. I don't know why I didn't. I got to the Wahoo Walk. It was my first time actually going to that and seeing it in person. I thought it was pretty good. The buses kind of came up with the like 3 buses carrying the whole football team and coaches, Coach Elliott and whatnot. Good ovation from the fans. You have the marching band playing the fight song, and and you know, a lot of energy. I think it's good. If you want to go check out the video, go check it out on my X. Really good. Overall, what would you say about your fan experience Saturday, Dad?
No, I thought we had a great time from the tailgate to the walk-in. Also, as we were coming up, Cav Man was coming down the street on the horse.
There you
or
go.
Cav Lady. And we actually pretty sure we passed. I don't know if you were with us, Jack. The horse was on the road with us when we were driving.
Oh, really?
And,
no, I was
and
not.
that was Cav Lady driving the vehicle. As we looked over, we didn't know until they passed us as we were walking into the stadium. So
That's
pretty
awesome.
cool moment for the kids who were walking. We got into the stadium, as I said, where we were sitting at, and really liked our seats. We'll be there all season. And the paid attendance, I believe, was 46, or the announced attendance 46.
Announced attendance. If you give me a second here, I'll be able to play. It was 44, I think it was.
Oh, it was 46 and change.
I'll have it here in just a second.
Anyway, over 46,000. And when we had Eric Ward on, he predicted we'd have somewhere, I think, between 40 and 45. And I think it was accurate. I know our friend of the show, Jerry Radcliffe, says seemed a little questionable, and Jack, as he's looking out from the media area, but they're looking over at the guest side, which definitely was sparse. And I know Virginia Tech fans wanted to take shots at us for it, but the home side was pretty full. And that's as many people as I've seen in the upper deck in a long time, where we were sitting in all the way across on the home side. Good fan experience. Enjoyed myself. The game was never close, so the fans rolled in the game. Students were
The first quarter a little bit.
The hill was great. The student section, all the way
Yeah.
to the seats were good, really good. At halftime, as normal, they left. It was about halfway full. It was a blowout, but about halfway full. Hopefully, they'll stick around longer for some of these more important games. But as a whole, great, a really good experience. Every time when we scored 48. Listening, we had Eric Ward on the show a couple weeks ago, and also I listened to him on the podcast with Carla, and he was talking about, the money and how money's spent. And he said, you got to think about it. Every touchdown cost them money. And we were running the money up with all those fireworks.
That's
So
right.
more and more fireworks. I enjoyed the light show. And right there, when they went orange, I think maybe on their last touchdown, or going to the fourth and went dark with the orange lights, I thought was pretty cool. So I thought Eric Ward and crew did a good job. I did not. Mason partook in a Papa John's pizza in the stadium. Not a friend of the show, but we didn't taste any. But I saw the options at the concession stands, a lot more options. So
yeah,
I think it was a good experience that day, and I thought the game day crew did a really good job. The only negative I would say is the trash. I mean, we came from our seats, and at the trash can, stuff is piled on. I mean, the trash was not taken out at all. It was in bad shape. There was trash on the ground by the trash can. Like, nobody had emptied the trash cans up there. And I don't know if that was just to our section. Shannon said in the ladies' bathroom, it looked the same way, trash everywhere. So if I had a critique, and I'm sure that'll get cleaned up. Somebody didn't do their job, but it was a good experience.
And your announced attendance was 46,143. So over 46,000. And I agree. I could see the lower bowl of the home side, and that side was good. And I feel like that side's always good. The lower bowl on the home side is typically pretty good. The student section in the hill was the best it's been in the last couple of years, but typically the first game of the season is when that'll be at its peak for the most part. So we'll have to see if that sustains for the next couple of home games. But yes, that was outstanding, about as good as the hill will get. Which is really good, especially with the whole policies and stuff. The fact that we still got that packed, very good. Very happy to see that student section was on point. And I don't blame them as much for leaving around halftime this time, only because it was a blowout. And I hope that if it's a close game situation, they'll stick around. We'll have to see about that. But other than that, it was just that away side, really that between the corner and the other end zone as well was a bit empty. And the upper deck of that side was a bit empty. But other than that, I mean, it was a good crowd. It was a lot of fun. The crowd got loud for, the big plays that happened, the Terrell Harris catch, the kick return. It was a lot of fun. The Ethan Minter interception, which at the time a lot of people thought was for 6. Unfortunately, it wasn't, but it was still, a good play. The crowd went nuts. So overall, I thought the fan experience, now, of course, I wasn't sitting with the fans, but I thought the fan experience from my perspective was pretty good. So I was pretty happy to see that. With that being said, though, let's talk about the game itself, the meat and potatoes, the dinner rolls. What are we talking about here? The game, 48-7 is your final score. Talk to me, Dad, about I don't know if I'd say skepticism, but how you're feeling when Virginia went 3 and out twice in a row, and then all of a sudden Coastal Carolina has the ball in Virginia territory. It looks like they're about to score 3. They did score 3, but then got wiped off because they got the first down. Talk to me what you're feeling throughout that.
Yeah, after our first drive, when we got down the field and then we stalled and missed a field goal, and then we couldn't get first downs, and they moved down the field. And I must say, I tweeted from the Cavalier Connection Twitter that it's
You, not Jay.
it was me this time, and I put what I put whatever it was. I put it was one word. I don't even remember what I said now, but it was a disappointing type of a comment. I was disappointed, and I just couldn't believe. I put underwhelming is what I said. Underwhelming.
That's it.
The offense did not look good at all. It was some of the same old stuff we've seen in years past. And then Coastal Carolina comes down the field, and they, like you said, they kicked the field goal, but it was a penalty on us, so they accepted it, which I would have done the same thing. I would have took the points off the board.
100%. I would too.
And then
alrighty. Those of you still watching us, we apologize for all technical difficulties. Internet having some problems here at the Low household, but we're back up now, and hopefully some of you stayed. I don't think a lot of you did, so we apologize for that. In fact, I think I got to reboot the Twitter stream maybe, so I'm gonna work on that. But yeah, as we were talking about, the beginning of the game was, in my opinion, I was very skeptical for a little while there. Virginia ended up scoring before the end of the first quarter, but it looked ugly. You mentioned the missed kick, which was a deep field goal, and then defense looked good up until and I agree. If I was Coastal, I would have taken the first down as well, try and go for 6. And then it ended up being a blessing in disguise for Virginia. Virginia got bailed out 100%. The bad snap, and we're all over it. I think James Jackson's the one who's recovered it. So we got bailed out there. But other than that looked bad. So but second quarter, you start picking it up a little bit. The punt block happened in the second quarter. The first quarter, actually, let's say the first quarter for a second. The touchdown that was scored was the Jamari Taylor 1-yard rushing touchdown. Before that, though, it was our first little look at the shine of Chandler Morris as he threw a nice ball to Cam Ross, Jamie transfer. We already talked about him earlier tonight. And was under pressure. Coastal was bringing 3 rushers, but he had to get out of the pocket, made a nice throw to Cam Ross, and then Cam Ross things, used the speed, boom, gets up out the way, gets to the 1-yard line. How about that?
And one thing on that drive too that I did like, not that it really, I don't know, Coach Elliott, we didn't have to run a play when we had that ball down at the 1, and he got that play in for the last second of the
I like that.
First quarter. He won some points on the board in the first quarter, and he probably was worried about what the ticker was showing as it ran across ESPN. So getting those points on the board was big.
I agree. Absolutely. I liked that myself. And I'll tell you this about those first 2 possessions or so. Run game didn't look awful, I don't think. Jamari Taylor got some nice reps in. X got a rep or 2 in. There was some quality first and second down runs. It's just in that first series, we would fall like a yard short of the first down marker. We had the 4th down. That's when, the defense was put in an awkward position and Coastal had good field position. The defense wasn't, the run game didn't look awful. It's just pick and choose your moments, try and get across that first down marker. So so good for him and Coach Kitchings. Then the second quarter is when, started taking off. That's when the punt block happened. I think it was Landon Danley or Caleb Hardy, one or the other. I think it was Landon Danley. And then all of a sudden, here it goes, fireworks. You got good play after good play after good play. Then you get the 2-minute drill, where I think it was 21-0 at the time, and Virginia or Coastal Carolina punts with about 1:34 on the clock, I believe it was. Virginia has the ball at their own 20. And typically, for the most part, I don't think Coach Elliott and his staff has done great in the 2-minute drill. You had the one against Maryland where Anthony Colanger risked it all and tried to run into the end zone with no time left, and it worked out. But, they looked really good, completed multiple passes in a row. But the thing that stood out, that Terrell Harris catch.
Yeah, no question.
It was a great catch. It was, I think Virginia still would have put points on the board that possession, but that catch bolstered the offense. And then all of a sudden the crowd is into it. Everybody's going nuts. You get to the line really quick, try and get a play off. Obviously it wasn't going to happen. Then you get the review, and I'm not going to lie. Initially looking at it, I didn't think for a second it was a catch. Not one bit. I'm like, they're going to review this. It's going to come back. But no, completed the catch. Ball never hit the ground. Then you get to the line and you run it in. I think that was a direct snap to Harrison Whaley, I want to say, for that touchdown. If not, Whaley had scored one earlier in the game. So that was really good. What did you see out of that 2-minute drive? 2-minute drill?
No, it was great. It was great seeing us. So we took the timeout so we'd have time to try to score. And then we went down and got the touchdown. It was, I believe, Harrison Whaley on the direct snap to get in the end zone.
Those 2 direct
there.
snaps in the game. There was 2. There was that one, and then I think Jamari Taylor took a direct snap as well, didn't he?
I don't recall that.
But
he
definitely did.
The running game as a whole for the game, our top runner was actually Chandler Morris on 5 carries.
Mm-hmm.
We really didn't average much on the run. I think if you, like you said, especially in the second half, they knew we were going to run the football fourth quarter, and they were coming at it, especially right down there at the end. I did like that they were lining Kalen up in the shotgun, trying to score. I wanted to put 50 on the board personally, but
I'll tell you this about the run game. What you didn't see in this game was not what you saw against Coastal Carolina last year, where you have Xavier Brown with multiple huge runs, explosive runs. You didn't see that. What you did see was some quality runs, picking up 4 yards, picking up 5 yards, setting up for the rest of the drive, setting up for second down, setting up for third down, which was good. And that's something that when you play against bigger opponents, when you play against ACC opponents, establishing that run game where you can consistently put together 4, even up to 6, 7-yard runs on first down or on second down is huge for this team, because that sets up exactly how Coach Des Kitchings wants to run his offense.
Yep. So we'll see. A big game next week versus
we were going to want to run the ball, and we're back. Yeah, we're still here. Coastal knew Virginia was going to run the ball, and they still picked up some consistent yardage. So I like that.
Yeah. And then the unfortunate thing with Chandler Morris getting hurt. I'm yelling from my seat the whole time, get down, get down, get down. And then he got down, unfortunately. And he says, he told coach he knew he should have got down. He was trying to score a touchdown. I mean, I like the thought of trying to score a touchdown. This is what scares me about Jaden Daniels in that preseason game when he said, I just wanted to score. Well,
let's go.
If we lose Jaden Daniels, we're not going to score a lot this year probably. And I think we're in a little better situation in Virginia. But Chandler Morris, he looked good. He got off to a slow start.
Yeah.
But, he still threw for 264 yards and only 3 quarters of play. Not really 3 quarters of play.
At that.
Yeah.
He started out really slow, as you mentioned. That first drive, that third down throw should have 100% been picked. He had a second one too in the second drive. I don't remember what play it was, but he had 2 very questionable balls. But he got into the game. He relaxed a little bit, started doing his thing. He ran the ball a couple times. That injury was not the first hit he had taken that game, though, unfortunately. He took a couple early in that first and second quarter, and immediately I'm like, okay, this isn't good. Like, we got to figure out how to either protect our quarterback more, or he needs to get down. And
he needs to protect himself.
Yeah, and in that third quarter when he ran and he kept going, I was thinking the same thing in my head. I wasn't yelling, but I was thinking in my head, get down, slide, and he did not slide. It looked bad. The replay that we saw up in the press box, I thought it could have been targeting. I don't know what the broadcasters were saying, if that was an accurate assumption, but it was a crown of the helmet-to-helmet hit. But, it doesn't matter. Get down. You don't have to worry about it if you get down. So, other than that, though, yes, he had good numbers. I liked what I saw out of him. His throws were on point. That Terrell Harris catch at the end of the second quarter, he put that ball only where Terrell Harris could have gotten it. The defenders couldn't have made a play on that ball. All they could do is do what they did. The coverage was about as good as it could have been. He put it only where Terrell Harris could get it. I thought that was really good. He read I'll mention this and I'll stop babbling. I'm sorry. But the Cam Ross touchdown going this way, it doesn't matter, but going towards the right from where we were sitting, Dad, and he threaded the needle so well. That was honestly what I thought was one of the most impressive throws of the entire night. There was 3 Coastal Carolina defenders. They were in a cover 3. They had 2 linebackers up front, and then they had a safety getting ready to blow him up from the back. He threaded the needle so well, putting the ball right where only Cam Ross could have gotten it. And then that's all he needed to do. Cam Ross got that ball, turned upfield, touchdown.
I thought that I would like to see us throw the ball down the field a little more in that game. I thought
I agree.
Coastal Carolina did not respect us You know, they
Yes.
played
They played
played
good
tight
man.
defense.
Yeah.
And I just felt like a guy like a Cam Ross, which I mean he was playing in the slot, could get over the top. Terrell Harris, we know, can go over the top.
Yes.
And also Edrin had a couple catches as well.
Yeah.
And he looks good. That's a big receiver right there
He
too.
is
You throw the
huge.
ball up to him.
I walked by him a couple times pregame. He towers. He's huge and muscular too. I mean, he reminds me of a Dakota Twitty, and Twitty got a couple receptions, nothing crazy. The tight end room didn't do much. I don't think they did what they were supposed to do. Some good run blocking, had a couple nice catches. Edrin is going to be good. You just got to get him on the right against the right defense where he's going to be a monster, and they disrespect him one too many times, and he's going to catch a monstrous touchdown ball. That receiving core is dangerous. I can only imagine if Malachi Fields was still in this receiver room, but forget about Fields. It's a dangerous receiving room. It's going to be a very, very good room for sure.
Yeah, no, and a lot of offensive weapons, but we've talked a lot about the offense. What I thought was outstanding was the
Let's
defense.
get to it.
And I wanted to mention the one to me that really stood out, and he didn't start, was Donovan Platt. I thought his defense was really good, and I mean, he had 3 pass deflections or passes defended. And I thought one of them I think he should have picked off, if I recall right. But I thought that defense, now they stood up and played. I know we gave up a touchdown late. I really wanted that shutout, but I thought the defense was the highlight of the game, in my opinion.
100%.
Defense and special teams. Offense was Cam Ross. And Chandler Morris was solid, but Cam Ross was a stud on offense. Cam Ross was a stud on special teams, and the defense was a stud. And that's where I think the game was won, is that defense.
For sure. The defense absolutely won this football game. They were so good up until, I mean, they had a shutout going. And like I said, they got bailed out early in the game with a bad stat, but they were put in that position. That was from the offense not converting on a 4th down. So they didn't concede all of those yards. They were already put in a weird position. For the most part, I was watching, Virginia only brought 4 pass rushers almost all game. There's a couple plays where they brought 5 as a blitz, I guess. But they were bringing 4. Not too much pressure, but that's what's going to happen when you bring 4 all game. But there was a couple times where the QB was hurried and had to make a decision. MJ Morris was started at quarterback for Coastal Carolina. So overall, defensive line wasn't awful, and Coastal really could not run the ball on us really well. Not that they were going too much anyways. But the stars of the defense, that defensive back room, that brand new defensive back room where there's about 8 new guys in there, was really good. There was a couple, probably 2 or 3 passes I could point out where, man, we either got really mossed or we got toasted. Other than that, Donovan Platt looked really good. There's a couple corners that looked really good. Not much was given up over the top. Nothing was really given up over the top completely at all. Nobody got beat for a touchdown. That touchdown they scored in the 3rd quarter, whenever it was just a slow brewing drive where the game's over. They're just trying to get points on the board. Defense looked unbelievable, and that was absolutely the highlight of the game. The question is now, though, what are we going to see? And we'll talk more about this later this week. What are we going to see with that defense against an opponent like NC State, who didn't look too impressive against ECU? But I want to see, are we still going to have the same mentality? Are we only going to bring 4 all game? We're going to send a little more pressure. I'd like to see us send a little bit more pressure, get after that quarterback, because I think our defensive backs are so good that you can send more pressure and leave less people behind. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought we got some pressure on the quarterback with just sending 4. And their quarterback was able to move around a little bit, but then, like we said, the secondary made the plays they were supposed to make, and Coastal Carolina couldn't run the football. So I just thought the defense was outstanding, but we got to see it against another team. Coastal Carolina, I don't know what they're going to be. They have 60 new players, so we really don't know what they're going to be. Their coach feels as if that they beat themselves when the game was over. No credit to the Who's, but that's fine. We're 1-0 in the books, and we'll move on to NC State, a non-conference game this coming Saturday at noon. And so one we'll talk about later in the week. Overall, though, you get off to a nice win, 48 points, the most we've scored.
That's the most points that has ever been scored under Elliott staff. And you do what you're supposed to do. They started out slow, but overall, they built up more and more a score that could not even be touched. I'll say this, though. You can't start that slow against NC State. You can't start that slow against almost any other team on the schedule other than William and Mary. Because if you start that slow against a real ACC opponent, forget about it. You start that slow against FSU, who just beat Alabama, forget about that game. We're going to lose by 60. You got to get a quicker start for sure.
Yep. So, well, we did what we had to do. 48-7. We're 1-0. Virginia Tech's 0-1. So that was a perfect weekend.
Great weekend.
And we move on to NC State this coming up week. We apologize for our technical difficulties earlier. If you missed the beginning, we had an internet issue, so some blanks in the middle of this episode. But we'll tie it together and make it in one right episode and fix it when we're done here. But yep, we want to thank everyone for tuning in to this episode. We're going to be doing some of these mostly on Sunday afternoons, maybe between the 4 o'clock games, 7:30 ish before the 8 o'clock NFL football games. Just recapping our Saturday football. I wanted to talk about it. Just couldn't do it yesterday. But yeah, thanks for tuning in, and be sure to go to the CavalierConnection.com and also go to our YouTube page and hit the subscribe button for us. We'd appreciate it. And other than that, you got anything else, Jack?
No, just great game. Can't wait for NC State. Check out the website, thecavalierconnection.com. You can check out my recap article of the game. And then also the preview article for NC State's coming your way probably Wednesday morning, because tomorrow's the press conference for Coach Elliott. We'll see what he has to say. We'll see an update. We'll hear an update on Chandler Morris. He got checked out yesterday. We're going to hear an official update. Hopefully he's going to be okay. So be sure to go check that out and don't miss any of the content we got going out. Other than that, go Hoos.
Go Hoos.